guys, welcome back. It's Shelby and today we are going to make some cool alternative art. On all those design shows you see them like frame wallpaper, and so this is kind of a riff on that, but like it's not wallpaper because I'm kind of sick of them just cutting out a square of wallpaper and calling it art, especially in rooms that have the same pattern of wallpaper in them. But basically what we're going to be doing is making some metallic art today. So find yourself a metallic photo frame, some foil because it's metallic and silver, and some black poster board. And then you're just gonna need some glue and some scissors. But if you want to twin projects with me, I will link everything you need down in the description below, along with my socials. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you like the video, consider subscribing, and let's get into it.
So go ahead and pull out your foil and rip off a piece smaller or the same size as the black poster board that you are working with. Mine's going in an 8x10 frame, so about the size of a printer paper, and kind of roll it over on itself so you have a couple different layers, and then just fold that in half as well. And what this is going to do is help you cut out uniform shapes. So basically, I know I want a kind of abstract flower / not super abstract, so I'm cutting out some petals, and I'm also going to cut out some circles and a few triangles, some half petals, just a few fun shapes like that. But basically what this does is for every cut, you've got a couple folds of the foil so that you've got a couple identical petals with each one. So I've got like 5 or 6 different petals that are the exact same shape. And then I'm just cutting some similar ones, so they're not all identical, but they're pretty close. Fun fact, cutting foil also sharpens your scissors, so this is kind of a dual purpose craft of sharpening your kitchen scissors or crafting scissors, as well as making shapes. So we need to trim our poster board to size, and I think that the easiest way to do this is to just kind of trace out and measure what size it needs to be. So I'm going to open up the frame and pull out the little paper that comes in there and use that to measure it against my black poster board, draw a little square around the corners, and cut it out till I have the perfectly sized rectangle that I need that will fit in the frame. So once your foil and poster board are cut down to size, go ahead, get rid of the poster board, foil, and scissors. You don't need them anymore. Now we're getting ready to glue. So you definitely don't need a jar this big, but that's what I've got. So I'm going to pour it into a cup and use a paintbrush. If you've just got the normal size ones with the spout, that will work well. And a glue stick will probably work too because foil is super lightweight. And just like that, we are basically to the fun part. All you have to do is take all of your little foil petals, circles, triangles, shapes that you made and peel apart the layers because we folded up the foil, so there's several different layers per shape. There is an kind of over and underside for foil. Part of it is really, really shiny and the other side is kind of a dull metallic color. So for this piece, the really shiny side is going to be on the upside, and that's going to be what's reflecting back in the art. And the dull metallic side is what's going to be glued to the black paper. That's the part that I don't really want to show. There's not a huge difference. Like it's not like, you know, super, super, super shiny and just like really matte dull. Like it's kind of subtle. If you flip one over accidentally, nobody's going to notice, but I notice, so I want the shiny sides up. So basically I'm just peeling them apart till I have a shiny side up and a dull side down. It also helps so that you know you've got each piece individual and that you don't have 2 pieces stuck together because you'll have 2 of the same side showing.
Okay, so I've got all my different shapes. I've got my petals, my half petals, my circles, my triangles, and basically I'm going to start with a circle because that's what I want. Shiny side up, which means I'm putting it down, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the not so shiny back. You really don't need much with this, so just a very thin layer. A glue stick would probably also work because foil is very, very lightweight. And I'm just going to plop it down. This center is going to be the center of my flower. So basically just wherever you want the flower. And just like when you were in middle school, you can smooth foil out with your fingernail. I think we all like put it on our fingernails or made belts out of it, whatever you did. But you can definitely smooth out all of the little wrinkles with that. Go ahead, grab some petals. And we're going to build ourselves a flower.
So I'm using just the tiniest bit of glue on here because when you push it down and then smooth it with your nail, you actually squeeze out any extra that is under there. Don't worry too much if you get it on the black paper. You can kind of wipe it away a little bit, but try to put just like the smallest amount of glue possible on the foil. Just enough to hold it down, but not enough to squeeze it out. I'm not even dipping my brush every time. I'm just kind of dipping it very lightly in the corner for one and then going to be using it for like 2 or 3 petals so that I don't get too much on there and make it a liquidy, sloppy mess. So basically just kind of make whatever design you want. Like I said, I'm doing kind of flowers and some other shapes, some triangles, some circles, and I do want to leave a little bit of negative space in there, so I'm leaving a little bit of it black, which is why I'm starting on the side. The whole thing isn't going to be foil, but yeah, basically just paint on whatever shape you want, and if you want to leave the foil textured, go for it. I want kind of a smooth, shiny look, so I'm just kind of buffing it out with the back of my nail. It's super easy to do, and the aluminum foil reacts really well to it. So instead of tearing off little half petals and hoping they work, I'm basically just treating them like full petals, gluing them on and tucking them over onto the back. They're not going to cause any trouble. Foil is super duper thin, so it's not going to leave any bubbles or anything in the frame. Not worried about that. And I think it makes a nice effect to the picture just to kind of look like it's finished and going off the edge. I'm going to start my second flower here with that circle and just add some more petals to it and have the flowers intersecting. I was thinking about maybe putting some additional petals around the flowers so that they weren't daisies but kind of like multi-tiered chrysanthemum type things. And I might do a couple other petals, but right now I kind of like the daisy look, kind of like them intersecting over each other. I don't know. I like the silver and black kind of monochrome look. I think it's a cool look, and I like the petals kind of overlapping each other, so they kind of go in between, kind of like little saw teeth, but for the most part, they just kind of overlap and look like different petals blocking each other out. So I think that's pretty cool, and I will add some more shapes as I go, I guess. So I'm going to speed this part of the video up a little bit. Basically, I'm just adding petals and shapes wherever I feel like. I really don't have anything like preconceived, mapped out in my mind, just kind of making the shapes go together. And I think that interlocking shapes and shapes kind of overlapping each other and spreading out from a central location into a starburst are interesting, so that's what I'm going with. I'm also trying to layer up the different petals versus triangles versus circles. I know the circles are the center of my flowers, but I also don't want them to only be center, so I'm going to use them a few other places as well. This is going to be my last true flower because, as I said before, I do want a fair amount of negative space on here, and if I just fill it up full of flowers, it's going to look a little bit messy. So I do want to bring the focal point down just to kind of one side, so I'm going to leave the top of this flower here kind of blank and just concentrate the silver a little bit more at one end, so it's kind of like dark to light effect because the foil is going to be reflecting the light and the dark poster board isn't. It's very matte and it's paper, so it's just going to draw the light in, and I think that's going to be a cool effect regardless of whatever light is in the room. You guys have probably seen, well, I know you've seen if you're watching this video, the paneled picture behind me. That picture is really cool because it actually changed colors in different lighting. So during the day it's pretty kind of muted and pale, but at night like the colors reflect out beneath the metallic, and it's really, really cool. So I think this picture will kind of do something similar. In low light, it's just going to kind of be a dull sheen of silver and like dark black, and then when it's bright, it's going to be really reflective and kind of mirror shine, and then really, really dark as kind of a contrast. So I think that's really cool, and I'm just basically filling in the shapes and a cool design that I like.
Okay, so we're all done and it's just time to frame it. So let me go ahead and get that in there. Come on. There we go. Press in the tines. And big reveal time this way. What do you think? I think it turned out awesome. I love the way the metallic foil flower sets off the metallic frame. I'm trying not to get too much of a reflection in the glass. Sorry about that. But the matte black background, which is really tough to say, just kind of accentuates the piece, so I love that. I think this would be great in a room with kind of a monochromatic theme to it, or even one with a lot of colors that you just want something neutral in. There we go, that's a way better angle. We're gonna do that. So yeah, this is how it turned out. I think it turned out great. I'm really excited for this. I'd love to know what you guys think. If you want to drop me a line in the comments and let me know, I think that'd be great. I love hearing from you guys. If you did like the project, go ahead and let me know by hitting that thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you want to see more DIY crafts, tutorials, experiments, travel, basic life experiences with me. I'd love to see you back here again. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.